first I worked with Jade on choreography, and that was my first kind of creating experience. And then we worked with Dave LaChapelle together, which was very inspiring to me and very incredible. Just as an artist, I was fed, I was doing something new, and it was really, really interesting to me. And I said, why don't I become an artist who can choose whatever I want to do? I didn't want to be just a dancer or an actor. After I wanted to be an artist, and then you can choose what you want to do. And then we are working on joining a ballet company, not joining ballet companies, but I guess in these ballet companies and creating new works. And so I'm going to be still dancing, and I'm going to be still creating, and as well as participating in the big companies. So I think that everything is important, and if you're an artist, you can choose things you want to do rather than just concentrate on one particular path. And the working with Natalia is very, when you care about somebody, it's much more interesting. It's great.
You could see that though as well. You could see that between you.
Yes, and it's not always easy to work together. But it's always nice to dance together on stage. So
Do we have any more questions? Yes, please. Last row and then the row in front.
Hi, yes, I would like to ask a question in Russian language, is it okay? And you could translation. Yes, да, Сергей. То, что вы переехали в Москву и стали выступать в Москве, это был ваш эмоциональный, так сказать, выбор? Как бы ваши корни вас звали назад? Вот почему? Мне просто интересно очень.
I could translate. The question was, why did they come back to Russia? I didn't actually, when I was in England, I became Westerner. I really, I was watching TV, I was watching politics, so Russia was very, foreign to me, and I wanted to actually go to America. I didn't have anything to grab onto in America. So in a way, I was not forced, but somebody was like, go to Russia, show that you're still capable of dancing, and then they will accept you back in the West. And I was surprisingly amazed to relearn, in a way, my own culture, and it was really interesting experience because I realized humans and people are all everywhere the same. And that was very important for me to learn that, because before I was really scared of that world, and once I was there, I was like, this is the same people. It's just the politics dividing the countries. So that's how I ended up there, and I relearned the classical ballets. I had a fascinating few years, but I had to build from beginning because I wasn't known in Russia at all. So I used this competition you saw as a tool to be introduced to wider audience straight away. Because in the theater you would take 5 years, to build that numbers. TV gives you that instant recognition. In England, I built that for 5-6 years. And in Russia, that was like one TV show. And so that was.
Yes, your turn.
Hello, Sergei. Thank you so much for all the joy that you've given to us over the years with your amazing dancing. We were all devastated, however, when you left Royal Ballet. So I understand totally the reasons why that happened. But my question is this: is there any chance you will come
We are having talks, and Gabrielle actually was helping with that, and Natalia is going to be a big part of helping on that. And if I'm not going to be there, that's because of them. I would love to come back, and we are talking, and I think Natalia is probably going to be playing a big part on that. So yeah, I'm hoping.
Сергей, спасибо большое за ваш фильм, это было очень эмоционально. Но у меня такой вопрос. Скажите, пожалуйста, если вас пригласят в Москву в Большой театр, какой вы сделаете выбор? Останетесь в Лондоне или поедете в Москву?
The question, would I go and join Bolshoi Theatre? I would, I mean, my idea, actually, perfect world is dancers shouldn't be joining companies anymore. I want to create a world that, like opera stars have, you know, they have a choice and they have a freedom to travel and, you know, experience things. Ballet world always been against each other and it's so, I don't know, I would love to guest, I would love to have a few shows, but I would never join any companies permanently.
There was a question just behind. Can you raise your hand?
Hi, it's always extremely striking to see how an intimate relationship between the filmmaker and, the person that holds the documentary is established. And I was wondering how much time did you actually spend together, and how long did the whole process take?
Well, the whole process took 5 years, and the editing was more than a year. I mean, yeah, you have to like really trust, and it was helpful that Steve had the ballet daughter who does ballet, and helped that I knew Gabriella, you know, like I really trusted Gabriella who connected us. So at the beginning it was through trust with Gabriella, I kind of, and Gabriella, the one who gave the time and money and things to work on it. You know, she didn't limit Steve or me on time or anything. You know, like she gave us extra everything. And then Steve worked really hard on you know, for editing, to choose music, you know, and one more thing I want to say, it's amazing music in the documentary, which I was actually tricked on watching first time the documentary, and I really never wanted to watch it. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch it. I was tricked by David LaChapelle, and he has a cinema in his studio, and he was like, oh, there's 20 dancers coming, and you're gonna watch your film. I was like, no. So I had 9 beers, and I was really, like, I couldn't even think, you know, and I was like, I'm gonna watch how it's made, you know, how it was edited and how the music is, and I was amazed, you know, I was really impressed how everything was put together, you know, and music by Ilan was, you know, dancers after was like, who's the music by, you know, you want to watch again because of the music, that was really special, and yeah, and for me it was just really hard to watch, because it triggers something raw and emotional. And I was like, holding today, it's like, and yeah, it's just hard.
I think in the beginning we didn't quite know what the film was going to be, and we were kind of towing very gently with Sergei, and we didn't know what direction his life was going to take. So everything in the beginning we thought it might just be kind of focused on some central dance pieces. And I think as the time went on, and as we saw where his life was going, and as we got to trust each other more, sometimes we would have conversations and shoot them, sometimes we would record them, sometimes we would, you know, just go out for a burger and talk. And I think after a couple of years, there was enough trust there, and we saw that things were going in a very interesting direction in his life, and we started to really get deeper. And I think that was probably, I think, helpful and therapeutic to both of us, actually, especially with Sergei, in ways to really do that amount of self-reflection.
I did the documentary actually joined with my life, and you know, like I recognized my friends, I realized what friendship is. I started talking with my parents. So everything you see, that was the first time me talking to my mom, for example. And actually at the end, Steve found right at the end of making the documentary, he's like, oh, this is a footage when you're a kid. It's like, this is a gold, you know, so asked my mom a question. I was like, why did you have a camera? You didn't have money, but you had the camera. And then 2 weeks ago we found out she was filming, she was borrowing the camera. So it wasn't hers. And it's an interesting process because I was still living my life, like I was still, and I think Gabriella still gave a lot of freedom to what's new gonna come, because the documentary took many turns, how it's gonna be made, what is it gonna be about, and at some point I was thinking, are they waiting for me to die? Like, what's the end of it?
He wasn't dying.
Because it took a long time.